That was so weird.
We are not back. Oh, we got to go to the other one.
Yeah, you got to go to the other one.
All right, here we go.
You sure there we go? I think that's just the video of the last one that you're looking at.
I don't know. We'll find out here. Look, it's us.
No.
Are we? Oh.
Go.
Are we live, guys? Let's look at the comments.
Oh. Oh, 0.5 over there.
Where?
Oh. Right there.
I guess we're up, guys.
That was so weird. I guess we can't show the video.
Whoa. I know what I need to do here.
Maybe streaming it is different from playing it.
I don't know. Let's go to the video and I can. Yes. No, it's a channel. And this is all live. Isn't this good?
Yeah.
They got us.
They shut down the video.
That has never happened to me before, but I suppose there's a first time for everything. Let's go over here. The comments aren't up. They're not up anymore.
When did it stop?
So you know what? Discord. All right, I think we're good. I was gonna go to Discord and I forgot to make a new tab. We feel so smart. Okay. We got booted. But we're back up as episode 8.5. 8.5.
That's episode.
Yeah, it'll fix it. There we go. And then we do this. We don't need to do the other one.
We just need to copy paste the link.
Okay, I guess we're here. I guess no more watching that video.
that was interesting.
So it looks like we lost you guys. Anyway, that was fun.
I wonder when it stopped.
I don't know. They saw it before we did, so I'm hoping they'll jump back on here. There's somebody, because it ain't me.
Nobody's on.
Well, it says one viewer.
I mean, we're not on, is what I should say.
Oh, we are.
Hello, again. Sorry about that. We have no idea that would happen.
Well, hopefully, Sean will jump back in here with us too. Okay, I guess we can't show the rest of that video, but we can talk about it. We do have the Blu-ray copy, and I have it on DVD. The interesting part about my Blu-ray copy is it's for Great Britain, and it's region 2, so I can't even watch it on any of my players. But somebody gave it to me, so
that's somebody being
yeah. So here we are, just talking about Hawk the Slayer. Now, what was going to happen in the video, which I don't know. I'm going to have to check before that goes live tomorrow. The copyright holder said they had no issues with us airing it. It may be a live streaming thing. I don't know.
Yeah, there are different rules for streaming than there is for videos, because people with videos can get away with a lot more. I
will double check that, but before I let it air. But because if there's an issue, they'll have told me by then, because it's been scheduled for over a week. You think if there was an issue, they would have said something.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe I was using too much. That's probably what it was.
I always thought that there was a rule on copyright that you can't have more than 30 seconds of copyrighted music.
Yeah, I looked that up. It's not a matter of time. It's a matter of if they want to stop us from airing it. But anyway, so what happened in the video next was we introduced the characters, starting with Gort, and then the elf, Crow, and then the dwarf. Genuinely have to chop it up. I did. I thought I chopped it up pretty good.
I know. I was sitting there looking at all the time.
It was only it was about 20, 25 minutes of the movie, not even 25 minutes. Too much consecutive footage will usually get you in trouble, probably. Either way, it's first time for everything. Well, they took us down, man.
They said no. They were that interested in our little hick YouTube channel.
Yeah, Big Brother was watching, so you know, stuff happens. After they get the heroes together, they basically go. I didn't have it in the video. But I like I said, I was cutting out as much as I thought I could.
Too viable,
right? You wouldn't want to download a car, would you?
Download a car?
No, we wouldn't download a car. Anyway, they went and they basically robbed a hunchback and got money for the ransom for the abbess. Then they went back to the abbey. The dwarf and the giant had this really cool witty banter, which it didn't include in my video, but I wanted to talk about it. Basically, anytime the dwarf would, the giant would go to eat. Oh yeah, I remember those old anti-piracy commercials. But anytime the dwarf and the giant would go to eat, the dwarf would find some way to get him to give him the food or half of the food. It was cool little banter between the two of them. Then they had this small battle where they went and attacked. The witch showed up and used her magic to create fog, and they ambushed the bad guys at their camp.
Again, really nice practical effects in that.
Well, it also cheesy practical effects especially with the elf over and over again.
That might be holy food.
That might be holy food, exactly right. Yes, that might be holy food.
Holy food.
And the turtles, the lizard's eyeball. So yeah, it's a great movie. And it's just too bad they stopped us from playing anymore, but what are you gonna do? I hope that doesn't give me a strike. But I've never had
strikes only actually count against you if you're monetized, or actually are given to you.
I don't know. We'll see. They may have sent me an email. We'll find out. She casts fog and then meteor swarm and uses a form of entangle spell at one point. Yeah, she cast a ton of different spells that were very D&D.
She was being very magey. That was.
But she was kind of a low level mage, maybe 5th level. A little higher than that, maybe, because that it was. I don't know.
She was using teleportation.
That's kind of a minor transport for us, though, but like maybe I don't know.
More than Gandalf.
More than Gandalf. Yes.
Oh my god.
She definitely used more magic than Gandalf, even though Gandalf seemed to have more power. I don't know how that works, but Tolkien's magic was really low key.
Yeah, that kind of magic was like, wait, that was magic.
Let's see. Then they had the Drogo showed up to get the gold. It's cast a ritual version of teleportation. Yes, a teleportation circle, exactly. So it may have been third level. We call it rank in Little Harlow. So, here we go.
There's Mage's View.
Well, look like who can't crawl back to YouTube after a grievous and flagrant violation of copyright. I didn't crawl back and just jump back on.
We didn't know that would happen.
Yeah, like I put out it's a good experience though, because I put out my little trivia video and it says there's no copyright issues. That it's copyright, but that the owner allows the use on YouTube, but maybe he doesn't allow it live. I don't know how that works.
Knows?
So it's weird. Like I said, I have to double check it before I let it go live. Let that video go.
Otherwise, you're gonna get 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, exactly. Gandalf is an angel. Yes, Gandalf is an angel.
Yeah, that part didn't really make sense to me when it was explained to me.
Well, all the wizards were technically angels. Even Sauron was an angel. And now we're talking Tolkien. But I did have a Tolkien night planned, but it wasn't for next week. Next week I actually was going to do Star Trek versus Star Wars, but I decided no. Playing the whole movie doesn't count as fair use. No, it doesn't. Unless, of course, in the public domain. Yeah, I agree. I had chopped it up a lot, but I think I put too much of some in one place. Yeah. And that Gort section was super long. It was more than 5 minutes, and I think that's what got me.
We'll have to watch the video. Like, when did it stop?
I agree. The wizard thing is just a cover for Gandalf and the other guys.
When did the video stop? I'm actually kind of curious.
Probably right when Gort's stuff started. That's when it seemed like it did. But we'll have to watch it back and find out.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, it happens to YouTubers. Come on, so we don't know what's going to be copyright.
Well, we should know, but then again,
you know, it's trial and error, and what are you going to do?
Honestly, I've been hit with a few copyright warnings on my channel just playing Kingdom Hearts.
Well, it's because you're playing, you know, copyrighted video games. Well, you haven't for a long time.
I know. I haven't been able to.
I'm kind of wondering about how Warner is. I did share some trivia about throwing axes. Yes, you did. Yes. See, that was cool right up to that point. I don't know.
YouTube just said, ha ha.
I should put the video up and try it again, right? No. Yeah, those were Francisca's, and they can indeed be thrown as shown in the movie. Yes. Yes, Francisca. You know, I hope that got included, but I guess we'll have both of these videos up. This will be the real Fridays from the Hildt episode 8. Yes. Okay. But yeah, we had it was a good thing. Before we started talking about Hawk the Slayer and put on the video, we actually did all our Fridays from the Hildt stuff. So it doesn't matter. We're just chatting now. Anyway, Hawk the Slayer, Drogo showed up to get the gold and got killed. And then his minions took him back to Voltan, and then they had a final conversation. I love, in the video, I had this really nice scene where Hawk saves the Abyss and then goes and confronts Voltan, rescues Gort, and then him and the Voltan duel. And then I did a little bit about how it ended, but yeah, you know, YouTube has to be a killjoy, but you know, who knows?
Crow's performance always struck me as if somebody told him it's like Spock from Star Trek, and he took it literally. Yeah,
that's a possibility. I mean,
he did seem very stiff and standoffish, but then I was like, well, it feels elfy in a way.
Vulcans are really just space elves, you know, when it comes right down. I know a lot of Star Trek fans are going, no,
they are not space elves. They have pointy ears and they feel above everyone, even though they say, no, we do not feel that way. You act that way.
Although they're bigger, I always consider Klingons more like dwarves. They mine, they have weapons. But yeah, that's a topic for, you know, maybe we can talk about it now that Hawk is dead. They killed Hawk the Slayer.
They killed our Hawk the Slayer fun.
Hawk the Slayer was slain.
Someone's having fun over here. Better. We're in the middle of
and that was my mom. She added some commentary to our live stream, but that's all good. if you heard that, when it came out, there wouldn't have been much to refer him to. That's true. That's true. It was all new, other than the animated Lord of the Rings. Because even the Hobbit only did a half elf of Elrond, and Elrond in that animated movie was kind of stiff. And he's not in the books as like that. I mean, he is serious, but he's not whatever. He seemed just kind of matter of fact. And hey, GM Cody, welcome to the live stream.
Just popping in to say hey to the Nerd Herd in the middle of recording my radio show. We'll make sure to catch the stream later, guys.
You're gonna have to watch it in 2 parts, Cody.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah, we got shut down. The Wood Elves and the animated. Yeah, they did. And they were kind of interesting, but they made them look like alcoholics.
Yeah.
And mean. But they kind of were in the Hobbit book. Well, the only one that talked was the king, and he sounded Austrian. Yeah, he kind of did. That was weird.
Ahoy, Cody. Hey, Mage.
Hey, Mage and Ahoy, Cody. Yes, they're saying hi.
Dialogue in the chat.
I'm just so used to putting it all up there.
Once you have 100 people in chat, that's going to be very unfeasible.
Anyway, we were discussing Hawk the Slayer, Cody. I had a little video put together that, according to YouTube, the copyright holder doesn't have any problems with me using, but they shut it down anyway. So.
I am also playing hooky from recording. That's not how you spell hooky.
Why not? You can spell it however you want. Maybe that's how they spell it in Canada, right, Sean? Anyway, kind of killed the vibe though.
It did kill the vibe. We were having fun. The fun police came.
We were so enjoying it.
The fun police came and gave us a band hammer.
What are you doing with my chip clip?
Having some fun.
Anyway, like I said earlier, the Tiger's not feeling good. I'm starting to feel better. I think I had a head cold for the last week or so. But so we're trying to talk about. We were just chatting now. I think vibe over.
Yeah, the vibe is gone.
Unless you guys want to still keep talking about it, I'm good.
The vibe is gone. YouTube killed it.
Well, like I said, next week I wouldn't mind talking some Lady Hawk, but I guess I'm going to have to be really careful about what I show and no music. I guess it could have been the music. Now that I think about it,
I mean, it's very iconic music.
Without the music, though, it's kind of like what? Stupid autocorrect changes to hockey. Yes, I just added an O and went with it, leaving a C. It's all good, Mage's music.
That stuff happens.
I didn't think it was Canadian. I was just joking. I think we speak the same language, roughly, unless you're in Quebec and speak French in some areas.
It's like, what? French is a weird language.
No, it's more than just Quebec, right? Mage's Musings, don't they speak French in a lot of parts of Canada, not just Quebec?
French Canadian, I think, is its own dialect or whatever. But still, French is a very weird language from what I understand. There's like a lot of words that mean the same thing, a lot of letters that are pronounced differently. Like, for example, the difference between egg and eggs.
First world problems, autocorrect won't let me spell the words the way I want. Yeah, I turn autocorrect off.
Like egg is and eggs is
Yeah.
Like you remove pronunciation when you make it plural. It's just no.
Yeah, the English language is convoluted at best.
Yeah.
But as Thor put it in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure. All words are made up. Yes, in stereo. All right, we did it. Harmonize that all words are made up.
I think it was when they first met in Infinity War, maybe? Or
you know what I did like about Hockey Slayer?
What?
Was the Mind Sword. I didn't like the fact that they said elfin mind sword, but that was proper English. So
it was proper English back then, predominantly in Quebec, but there's a large French population in Brunswick, and arguably NB is the only bilingual province.
Okay. So that's what I thought was Quebec, but I don't know. I've never been to Canada. I wouldn't mind going. Maybe in the springtime when it's not so hot.
Or cold.
Yeah, cold in the winter, yes.
Too cold, too hot.
But we hear about how hot it is from Bear all the time.
So
Bear the Gen X
hot.
But no, I don't blame him if you don't have AC. I mean, we don't have AC. We got a cooling unit, but it only pretty much cools one room.
Not only does it only cool one room, but we have to pay to have it fixed.
That'll work. If we call it a Hockey Slayer, then I guess we're good.
Let's watch Hockey Slayer, guys. We got the whole movie on Red.
I really think now that we've been talking about it, that it was probably the music that got me.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it would. I'm gonna look. You guys go ahead and keep talking, Max. I'm curious now.
I refuse AC. We hate it, yet precious.
Yes, precious. Yes,
precious. We hate it, yes, precious.
Yes.
Gollum voice. Oh my freaking God.
I'm curious to see if
when it stopped.
No, I don't know about that. I don't care about that. No, I'm curious to see if they
took it down entirely.
No, see, it says the owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. So I don't know.
What about the video that we had?
That's the same video.
No. I mean, our live stream, is it still on YouTube, or did they take it down?
It's still there. I started playing it, so look. Wow,
that's 8.5.
I know. I haven't seen my own video up on my own thing. Maybe it's because I'm live.
Videos.
Yeah, we go to live. There it is. Yeah, see,
Okay, it's still there.
Yeah, 20 minutes almost. Oh well. I was gonna see if they emailed me, but I doubt it. See how long they get around to each other. Oh yeah, they did. Live stream copyright notice
due to a copyright match.
Streams are when copyright content is detected after copyright material is no longer streamed. Streams are automatically re-enabled. Okay.
Well, that doesn't make sense. We stopped the damn video.
Yeah, they didn't re-enable it. So, oh well. We just started. Maybe we just started up again. I ended the broadcast, so maybe that's it doesn't matter. I'm gonna save that one though, just for thrills. Anyway, we'll get back to you guys later. So yeah, apparently there was a copyright match. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Like I said, the video is still saying it's good, so that's weird. I'm gonna let it air and see what happens because I don't know if I'm gonna get a strike or not. But
again, I really think copyright strikes are for people who get monetized.
That's not entirely true.
Why? Have you known people to get copyright strikes?
No, but that's what they were saying, that it could be lesser, with people with fewer subscribers and people who aren't monetized. But it doesn't matter. Back to the Elfin Mind Sword.
Elfin Mind Sword.
The Elfin Mind Sword.
What else did that thing do? It had so many random things.
Just came to his hand, as far as I know.
And it glowed.
I did like the glowing part. And he looked at the stone and goes, concentrate, and it glowed. And then it went into the sword's hand, and it gripped it. All metallic sounding and whatnot.
It sounded like he unsheathed it when really it was just flying towards him.
Yeah. And, the thing about the movie, I liked and hated at the same time. What we got here from Maisie's Music.
If the video has open use permission by its owner, you can make a case for it by appealing the strike.
Yeah, I could if they give me a strike.
I got the impression its power is only limited by the budget of the effects department.
I agree, Elfmate. I totally agree.
All we could do is add an LED at the bottom and poorly put in a wire. Unless they played those scenes backwards.
No, they probably played them backwards and pulled it out of his hand. They did look like they were really off.
It did look a little weird, but then again, it was practical effects of the time period.
This is true. I thought it was well done for 1980 when it came out. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of practical effects. It's a lost art in my opinion with all the computer technology and the computer animation that we do nowadays. Like a lot of stuff that goes into that, like the puppetry, the lighting effects, like all that is just gone because it's like, why go through all the hard work and the thousands of dollars of equipment when you could just
completely gone? Whoop. Yes, he could jam it into a solid stone. Yes, the sword was awesome.
I don't know. Connor McLeod was able to do that in the first Highlander movie.
It must have been made out of the same metal as Excalibur.
How do we make a movie about Excalibur without actually talking about Excalibur? We call it the Elfin Blade.
So short of sharpness with the abilities of a dancing sword. Yeah, I kind of agree.
Dancing sword. Sorry, that specific terminology just reminds me of Munchkin.
Yeah, because when a dancing sword gets going, you actually control it.
Connor had quote-unquote magic. No, that was at the beginning of the movie when he was still just a regular immortal.
This is true, but he did have magic when he could feel the animal, and Ramirez taught him how to do that.
That was a form of magic? I thought that was something...
I don't know. I mean, the other mortals can't do it.
Weird.
Maybe it's just unique to Connor, because Duncan couldn't do it on the Highlander TV series. Of course, they changed a lot for the TV series.
Honestly, the TV series kind of retconned a lot of stuff that happened in the first couple of movies, but at the same time, it supplements it. Because it's like, when I was watching, I was like, wait a minute, I thought the quickening... Oh, the quickening does stuff.
The quickening does stuff.
I thought the second... Stuff.
Yes, it does. It does. It completely heals them, too. But they're kind of weak from it for a little while.
A little bit.
Depending on how powerful the other immortal was.
But again, the first movie made it seem abundantly clear that that was the last of the Immortals, the end all be all, because that was the Gathering or whatever. But then it was like the second movie came out and it was like, let's do all this future stuff. It was weird. And then I watched the TV series and it was like, oh, we're doing immortal stuff again. But also technically it happened after the events of the first movie, but not the second movie, but also, yeah. I don't know.
Getting back to Hawk the Slayer.
Timeline just got all sorts of whacked out in my brain.
Oh, I was going to say, the thing about Hawk the Slayer that I liked a lot, but it also bugged me the most was when the dwarf died.
Oh my gosh, that was so
one of my favorite characters.
Field.
Yeah. Can we talk about Baldwin and how they put a dwarf rogue into the movie rather than the stereotypical
tiny Viking?
I agree. I thought Baldwin was awesome. I love how he just would banter with the giant and outsmart him all the time.
It's like typically whenever they're the dwarf, they play the role of like the big heavy-set warrior, but in a teeny tiny package.
I agree, Sean. Highlander Continue is so messed up, it's not worth bothering. I love the series. I like the movies. What I did, the way I see it is Highlander 2, 3, and 3 are dreams that Connor is having while he is in the sanctuary in Highlander 4 and in the Endgame, Highlander Endgame, because he is for over a decade he's in there. Gort is a cool way to have a demi-human race without having weird racist giants. I actually in our Linharo Fantasy Adventures, I actually created a race called Giant Times or Tiny Giants. And I love to play them because of Gort. I created a race specifically for that. And they are more related to giants than they are humans because I wanted to have that giant aspect to it, but yet, so they're not human, but yet they're human-like, but yet they're bigger. They tend to be about 7 to 10 feet tall.
I've played a Giantine in your system before, but
some of my favorites. Some of my favorite characters to play are either dwarves or Giantine. It's weird.
It's like either the little people or the big people.
No, I like to play a wizard on occasion, but not very often.
I like playing wizards. I used to love playing bards, but I don't have the social skills for it.
The way I see it, Highlander 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as many episodes of the show, are nightmares that plague me in my darkest hours.
To each his own. It seems he's not that much of a fan.
I love the series, and I know we had a whole episode devoted to talking about it, but
there's just so much.
I could talk so much more about Highlander. It's unreal. I actually kind of wanted. I thought about doing an episode just about the TV series because we kind of only covered the movie. One of my campaigns had the half gear, who were giant bloods but used the half orc stats.
Interesting.
That works. I mean, there should have been only one. In a way, I agree with you, but then we wouldn't have got Duncan MacLeod, and he was a better character than Connor.
I haven't been that big in the series yet. I need to rewatch the series because so far the only differences between Connor and Duncan is Duncan just didn't want to have any part of freaking.
But as far as the movies are concerned, I agree. Endgame was good, but it was basically an episode of the TV series extended, and the source. The extended version that's European, that's not the American version that we got on Sci-Fi Channel, is better, but it's still not that great of a movie, and it was kind of sad. Yeah. It was what they all were missing after Highlander 2 was a Queen soundtrack. It's true. But it depends on how you look at it. Easy to be a better character when you have many seasons to develop it. That's true. That's very true.
Because really, the only reason why Connor doesn't have much characters, you only see him for like 2 movies and then half a part of 3 movies.
Well, he's in 3 movies, yeah. The third movie is pretty good. It's just weird. It's a weird movie, but I liked it. I'm a Highlander fan, so I do prefer the original movie the best of the movies. But that's just me. And Highlander 2, if you haven't seen the Renegade version, the quickening, the original theatrical version is not worth watching. It really isn't. But the Renegade version, Russell McKahee and the actors all went back, filmed new scenes and everything, and made it make more sense.
It still doesn't make sense.
It's a better movie, though.
It still doesn't make
It's still a better movie. It doesn't.
We got reincarnation.
Well, that's why I consider it a dream. I just consider it a dream. So, Christopher Lambert is one of those guys who is always the same guy, no matter what movie he's in. What are you going to do about them? Yes, exactly. He was still Connor McCloud. I totally agree.
How many movies was Christopher Lambert?
Oh, he was in a lot of movies. There was a movie that he called, it was called The Hunted or The Hunter. I can't remember which. Where at the end, he actually cut a dude's head off. And I saw it in the theater. And literally, everybody was chanting, "There could be only one." It was hilarious.
In fact, Christopher Lambert had to learn English for that movie.
Yes, he did.
So that's why his accent was so heavy.
Well, yeah, he barely spoke English, let alone, Scottish. Fortress. Fortress was a good movie, yes. I can't remember whether he was in the sequel or not, Fortress 2. I don't think so, but he was in the first one. I like a lot of Christopher Lambert movies if his acting isn't all that great. He even admitted that when he did Highlander 4 and the making of. He's also blind as a bat. I didn't know that. Is he partially blind? That's something I didn't know about him. How would you do mock sword duels if you're partially blind?
You have to be really good with the choreography.
That alone is impressive if he's partially blind or all the way blind, but I doubt it.
I don't know.
Clancy Brown was stiffed of his paycheck for Highlander. To this day, he's never been paid. Oh, that sucks because he was the best part of that movie. If that's true, that sucks. It really does because he's my favorite villain of pretty much anything, really. Christopher Lambert cannot see without glasses and cannot wear contacts. Really? I did not know that. He has extreme nearsightedness. Wow.
I personally am nearsighted, but my glasses are broken, so I haven't worn them for a while.
That makes his sword fighting more impressive, actually, if you think about it. Either that or the people who he worked with realized, oh, this dude's blind, so I just got to stay out of the way. I did not know that we had serious nearsightedness. I'm technically, now that I'm older, I'm farsighted and have to wear glasses to even read what's on the screen. Even squinting, getting closer, I can sort of read it, but
okay.
Yeah, it's like it happened almost overnight when I was 42. Just I woke up one morning, couldn't see as well as I used to be able to. He hurt people in sword fights, and he sort of said, "Yes."
I guess that explains why they had to invent Duncan MacLeod and had to have a new actor for the series.
Connor McCloud, Christopher Lambert turned down the series. Christopher Lambert as Tachi. I don't know who that is, Sean. Sorry.
Quickly learned to use stunt double.
You know what? You could tell that in the last the end scene of the original Highlander movie. That is clearly a stunt double that is doing the sword duel. Yes. But they got a pretty good pretty good stunt double. So anyway, I guess we just keep talking about Highlander.
Oh my gosh! One thing.
The Blind Swordsman. It's a series of Japanese film series. I didn't know that. Like Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer is an underrated actor too. I want to do some. Videos about some of his movies too. He made a lot of really cool movies. Blade Runner was probably the one he's most famous for, where he was the villain, where he was that replicant, the leader of the replicants. He did a really good job of that.
But anyway, when I started watching the series with Logan again, and like he was explaining how they were still getting their footing, and I'm like, it feels like that they just wanted to make a series where they had an excuse to have a bunch of hot guys sword fighting.
I never saw it that way, but whatever. My wife definitely agreed. Well, and we had a guest watching from one of our gamers, and she was here, and she loved it and wants to watch more. So we're probably
we're gonna make it a regular thing.
So Hawk's lady in the movie is hinted at being a fighter type herself, as she says he shall have her sword at his side. That's true. I thought so. You know, that they underplayed that relationship. It makes me wonder if there was more that they filmed for that. But it was all flashbacks. So speaking of Highlander type stuff, flashbacks. Yes, Hawk the Slayer had flashbacks too. That was cool.
Hawk the Slayer. I feel like the main lead, the lady in that movie, it's like it feels like they wanted to do more with her, but in the end, she felt like the typical damsel in distress the way she was written.
But yet she wasn't.
She wasn't, because she literally helped him. Also,
the hidden knife and the cross. Yes, it's hers to begin with. Agreed. Excuse me. Yeah, and he used it at the end. That's how he freed Gort, so that Gort could take those dudes out and not hang those nuns.
Right.
Which was pretty cool.
She burned Voltan's face.
Well, not only that, it was the image of the cross on his face that cursed his face so that it couldn't heal. There were so many undertones in that movie they just didn't bring out.
It was just so interesting, but at the same time, I don't know why. The villain didn't seem all that compelling to me, to be honest.
Voltan, you know what made the villain in that? That it was Jack Palance. He has an on-screen presence that is
but the character is just.
He's just.
I came back from the war, and all of a sudden I'm a jerk, and blah 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 blah.
Well, you gotta think of it from a veteran's perspective. He came home thinking he had a woman waiting for him, and then his brother was marrying her.
Because she liked him and not him.
Going to war, it changes people. It just hit me, but did Voltan seem to be repulsed by the cross? Yeah, he did.
It's trauma, man.
Jack Palance is just Jack Palance. Yeah. Even in City Slickers, he's just Jack Palance. I love both of those movies that he was in. But where he played himself in the first movie and his twin brother in the second movie.
Pretty sure he was corrupted while away. That would make more sense, but maybe a little hint towards that would have been nice.
You know what? That wizard seemed to have his clutches in him from way back, and it's just the ideas that they put in your head as a viewer, or in my case, a game master, and probably some of you. But yeah,
at the end of the day, yeah. Hawk the Slayer really needed more.
But how corrupted was he? Because his line to the wizard was, there is a graphic novel?
I want to read the
That's right.
Novel.
Yes, I did see that on Wikipedia. I wouldn't mind reading that too. But I think that wizard, he said to the wizard, "You promised me all for the use of my sword arm." So exactly what did that mean? So yeah, I wouldn't mind reading the graphic novel sequel. I've never seen it. I wouldn't know where to get my hands on it. I probably should Google it and find out.
Maybe you could find it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but I doubt it. I mean, even on Wikipedia, it said it was a rare book. So
let me look that up.
There was almost a movie sequel, but that failed in Kickstarter, and so they made it into a graphic novel. Yes, I read that's what I read.
It's pretty much brand new.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. So we might be able to find it then.
Let me see.
I didn't know how old or new it was. I just remember glancing over it in the Wikipedia. He's going to Google it. He's going to look at it and see if it's on Amazon.
Let's see. Hawk the Slayer, Watch for Me.
I know they had some novels.
Oh, there's a comic series. It looks like Hawk the Slayer issue 1 and issue 2, both for $5. There's Hawk the Slayer, Watch for Me in the Night for $20.
I'm gonna have to pick those up whenever I have a little bit of extra money to do so.
And that's about it.
Well, yeah, the underlying tones of that movie.
Why is that part of the?
With Voltan and the wars, they didn't say what wars, but yet Hawk was a fully trained warrior. And then he had wars after his father died, because they mentioned how there was one that would help in the dark years. So what were the dark years?
Oh, so the $20 one was the graphic novel he was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. That is the graphic novel I'm talking about. And let's see.
Extra money. What is this thing? Which you
I don't know. Every once in a while, it happens. And I through some miracle, like he'd buy something extra, but like for my birthday and for Christmas, I got my extended family sent me gift cards only for Amazon. I'm like, well, I'm getting a bunch of G.I. Joes, and that's what happened. But if I'd have thought about it, and I'd have known about this graphic novel, I probably would have bought it too. Anyway, Hawk the Slayer, to me, it's part of my childhood. I watched it early on, maybe 13, 14. I don't remember exactly where, but it was most likely on TV. I just remember wanting it really bad. I may have actually watched it on video when I was 16 because I remember going and renting it. And I went to a little video store near my house back then when there was other video stores besides Blockbuster.
Which is also a dead store.
Yeah, which is also a dead store now. But they had these little mom and pop video stores all over the place. And there was one really close to my house, and I'd walk over to it, and I could rent a video for 3 days for $1. And so I would rent all sorts of videos. But I was underage, so they'd only let me rent one video. But I had an account. They let me set up an account with my mom's permission, and so I was watching movies.
So you can't even go to the dollar store with $1 and get things anymore.
I think I was in junior high when I first saw it, Elfbait.
3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah, but that's before me, that's for sure. But probably around the same time. I am just a little bit older than you. I think about a few months. So yeah, you probably saw it a little bit before me. Came out in 1980. Yes. Yep. We discussed that. I thought it would come out in 81 after Excalibur, but I got those dates mixed up. Excalibur is the one that came out in 81.
Let's see, you were 10 years old when that movie came out.
Right. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I didn't see it till I was 15.
So 85.
Yeah, 85. Because I went and started renting videos from that place, and I watched all sorts of the dumbest, cheesiest fantasy movies of all time. But that
probably is what.
That's my exposure to Lady Hawk. Well, I saw Lady Hawk before that because I went to the theater and saw that when it came out. We had cable, so I got to see a lot of stuff. We had cable intermittently over the years, and sometimes we had it, sometimes we didn't. We never had the pay channels. So.
Oh my gosh, watching all the free channels and doing the recording and stuff.
Yeah,
I am glad we live in an era of streaming because, oh my gosh, I hate the ads in front of YouTube now.
You guys just don't know the anticipation of knowing what day the show comes on, waiting for it, getting all prepared and setting up for it and watching it. And you had to sit there the whole time because that's when it was on. And it wasn't on again until it came out in rerun. If it came out in rerun. We didn't know whether it would or not back then.
I don't know. That reminds me of something like back when I was really little, I started getting into Pokemon, and they had an anime special for their spin-off series Mystery Dungeon. And I love Mystery Dungeon now. Oh, but back then I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I wonder when the next episode was going to be. Never again. Years and years and years later, I found out that it was a special that only aired that one time. And I was like, and I missed it. I was in the last 5 minutes and I missed it.
It happens, and it did back then, but now you just catch it streaming.
Whatever. Oh my gosh. I think you can actually find those on YouTube now, the Mystery Dungeon.
It's a possibility.
But still, it was just like, I watched that and I was just like, where is it? What happened to this series? It looks amazing.
This is true, Elfbait. Binge viewing has ruined the joy of spending a week talking about a show and hyping up, speculating on the next episode, which is why a lot of streaming services have tried to go back to that every week-to-week episode thing. It works sometimes, but not always.
Most of the time, it's just like, I'd rather just wait until the whole series.
A lot of times I'll just wait till it's all on there and then I'll stream it all.
But I heard The Mandalorian was good.
I watched the first 2 episodes of The Witcher Season 3, and it's all on there now. I'll probably be watching it this weekend. But my wife asking me to wait, so we waited until it was all on there. I was going to watch them week to week, but well, they had like 5 episodes and then the rest of it. So I don't even know how many's on there now altogether. I'm hoping the full season, but it's supposed to be the full thing. But whether they had a full season or not, I don't know if they did only 3 extra episodes. That's what they did with Stranger Things. It really ticked me off. They had like almost all of the episodes and then 2 episodes that they made you
the
wait.
The show has to be good enough to make it worth waiting.
That's true. And I did. I waited for Stranger Things because it's a really good show.
Oh my gosh, there's so many shows that aren't worth seeing.
Well, this is true. I mean, it's hit and miss, and I'm sure that it always was. But the problem is there's a lot more now for us to look at. There used to be like there was 3 networks, and then Fox showed up, and then there were 4, and they had their slew of shows every week, and you had to pick and choose. And then cable started having theirs, and then everything happened, and then streaming destroyed everything, but it also made everything somewhat better.
Made everything better, but at the same time, you see so much garbage. Like, I remember a while back, there was this anime that people were memeing on because it had horrible writing and bad voice acting. And the best character from that show, their voice actor had like a $5 mic, and it showed.
Well, it also takes away that thing when episodes are coming out week to week. If you're binge watching a show, you'll binge watch it and go, hope the next episode is better. And you'll just watch it, and then you'll be like, I can't believe I watched the whole thing. But coming out week to week, if you didn't like one of the episodes, you're like, I ain't watching that next week. Elfbait says there also have to be a ton of action figures and play sets to allow you to play your own stories between episodes. Going back to my childhood, yes, sir. I didn't do that at all. So, hey, guys, we're probably going to wrap it up here, but I'm going to let you guys pick next week's topic since the 2 of you are here. Do you want Lady Hawk or you want something else? Because I can talk Lady Hawk for an hour at least. But like I said, I'll have to be careful
on what you put in the video.
Next time I'll just cut the sound, but I don't think that had anything to do with it this time. That's not what they're saying. So yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys, and if you guys don't decide, then I'll just pick something. Dragon Slayer. Oh man, I don't know. Elfbait. But I'll put it up there.
Might as well go.
Dragon Slayer. Might as well go Lady Hawk. You seem passionate about it. I did love Lady Hawk a lot more than Dragon Slayer. I did like Dragon Slayer. And it actually might be more interesting to talk about, but what could we actually put on here for either one of those that we could actually look at? Probably just pictures. I'm going to go back to that because when I did pictures, there was never a problem.
There's a game this time next week, so you can't tune in.
Yep, OSC.
What's OSC?
What I do is when people are, it's old school. I can't remember what the E stands for.
Old school edition?
Old school, I don't know. It's been a while since I was into that, but it's old school essentials.
Old school essentials, yes. Okay.
Old school essentials. Dragon Slayer puts you in the crosshairs of the mouse. This is true.
Oh, Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Michael Roden.
Michael Roden. Old school essentials. Yes, thanks, Mage's Music. Sean, I appreciate it. I eventually remembered because I've never played it. I played AD&D 2nd Edition and 1st Edition, and I started with the old D&D Basic. That's where I cut my teeth, was on the old extra set. That was the first D&D product I ever bought.
Next week is session number 5 of the Old School Essentials.
On Fridays, when other people have streams, I generally start at 4. I only started this week at 5 because nobody around me had streams. EL Geek from the old geek from he has a live stream that he does on Fridays normally, but he's on vacation this week. Beckney Redbox is where I began. Is that the 83 Redbox or the original, the old magenta one? OC is worth getting even if you have your BX stuff. This is true. I don't have any of the OSE stuff, but the BX stuff is awesome. So if it's like that, then yeah, I probably would. My problem with all of it, AD&D, and the only the only issue I ever had was there are limitations on everything. 83 red box. Oh, I love that one. The sad part about that is when the cleric dies, man, when you get your own little solo adventure, I can't remember her name. I blotted her name out of my memory. OSC is exactly BX. Oh, okay. All right. I've seen a bit of it played online, but not a lot.
You guys are speaking Greek to me because
better layout, just better layout and formatting. Okay. Alina, oh, you reminded me. See how you are, Sean.
But yeah, this guy raised me on his system. So
yeah, I had the expert set. I didn't get the actual original BX basic set until after I had the red box from '83 and the expert. I managed to pick it up somewhere in there, and I hardly ever used the original expert set, but I mean the original basic. But I used the BX expert set to death, to the point where I had to take masking tape and fix the cover because it was falling apart. Those restrictions you speak of are the reason to play. They enhance the experience. In some cases.
Oh, hello, the Serene.
Hey, what's up, Kate? How you doing? Welcome. The only issue I have with that is the fact that elves who live for centuries can only go so far. I know there are reasons why they did that.
It's a restriction to make them not too overpowered.
But it's the reason I did away with levels altogether in my game, because I loved BX and Beckme D&D. Don't get me wrong, and I would still play it, and first edition and second edition. But it's hard to go back to that after I've created my own game system, and I've played Lenharo for probably close to 25 years now, the way it in its current incarnation. But I started it
in its current incarnation. You only started its current incarnation
in 2010. So it's been almost 25 years.
The enhanced edition? That was way later.
Well, it always was the enhanced edition. The light edition was created later. That's what's funny about it.
So the enhanced edition is basically an update of the older model.
Yeah, well, the reason why we created the light edition was so people could get into it.
There's so many options. I mean, the light edition is a good intro to it.
I agree with you.
But I'd still just play the enhanced edition because that's what I'm used to.
Did we lose everybody? I agree with Mage's musings on that level. But it looks like he may have left. I don't know who's still there. Maybe Serene just said hello.
Who knows? Someone left.
A lot of people did. Everybody did.
Almost.
Anyway, we're gonna close out the stream here.
I'm listening. Oh, so it's just Kate.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah,
Kate and Mage's musings.
No, they're both still here, but it's cool.
It only says one. That's weird.
It's all right. We've been doing this for over an hour. We generally do Fridays from the Hildt for an hour. Anyway, like I was saying about Mage's musings, I agree with the restrictions when you're playing BX because I love it, and you plan those adventures written specifically for that. But when I write adventures, I like my players to have more options, and Beckme and Basic and BX D&D didn't give players hardly any options. You were locked into, if you were an elf, you were playing an elf. We're talking Beckme and BX. Dwarf, you were a dwarf, and really as an elf you were a fighter mage. As a dwarf, you were just a fighter. You couldn't be a fighter cleric. There were certain. I didn't think that your class should dictate everything that you do with your skills. So
people aren't like that in reality.
This is true.
Like you sit there and be like, my job is this. Okay, so you can only learn things that pertain to that job.
But I do agree that there should be restrictions as a game system as a whole. Otherwise, it's not a game. So yes, and it has to be what the game master is comfortable in running too. So if you're comfortable in that, they're all here. According to this, my viewer count keeps dropping off. It's weird.
It is so weird.
It's archetypal, and they are like that in stories. Yes, they are. I agree. I play advanced for those nuanced options. When I play basic, it's because I want the streamlined approach for a different experience. I completely agree with that. If you're playing the old basic stuff, then yes, you should have those restrictions. When I run games, I like my players to feel like that they're creating their character and not the character the game wants you to create. So I'm just a little, maybe I'm weird that way, but I haven't had any complaints. Yep, play what you want for the feel you want. Yes, I agree. And hey, Sean, I would definitely play in one of your games. I've watched some of your recaps. They're really cool. I think we all do, Elfbait. I think we all have different rules for different play experience. And that's kind of the way I set up our Lenaro Fantasy Adventures, is so that the referee could customize the game that they wanted. We have rules and structure there, but
rule number 1, have fun.
Right.
If you're breaking that rule, you're not playing Lenaro.
The Serene says, that's the way I've always liked it. What she's always liked about it. Okay. I'll drive to Ontario for Dungeon Minister's ClareCon. I'll be running tables. I would like to, but the truth is, I probably won't be able to make it. I would have to get a plane ticket, and it's not happening anytime soon. I'm just broke all the time. I would be awesome, though. I've never been to a convention. I've always wanted to go to one.
Dungeon Minister's ClareCon? Wait, Dungeon Minister's running a con?
That would be cool. I like the Dungeon Minister. I watch him, too. Rule sets. Mage's musings. You're just happy about it. Okay. I've always wanted to go to a convention. I went to a local tournament one time, and it was great.
You hosted local
tournaments. And I hosted local tournaments a few times. But, yeah, I've never been to one like a Gen Con or anything major, big. I think the most people I've ever seen at a convention was maybe 30. So I've been to all really small events. The first time I went, it was awesome. And the next year they did it again. And I brought my entire game club. I brought like 20 different players to their event, a paid event. And they gave all the prizes to their friends, and it was a totally different experience. And I was like, well, I can do better than this, so I started running my own. I do too, Elfbait. I would like to run some local cons myself, but I don't think in Ogden, where I live, there's in Utah, there's not a big enough player base. I mean, they're out there.
I see people all the time at the Gamers Asylum running D&D campaigns.
Our FLGS from high school managed to pull off an event by itself 3 years in a row back in the late 80s and early 90s. That's awesome. I wasn't able to start doing my own until 90s, in the mid 90s. The Serene says the only thing I've been to is E3, and my friends stuck me in by giving me their lanyard.
That is so cool.
It happens.
Oh man, I've always wanted to see E3. The E3. I don't think they do E3 anymore though.
Yeah. Ages Music is trying to get us all to come up and play. I would love to if I could get there.
That would be cool if we could get there. But
unlike a lot of GMs, I love to play too. I mean, I prefer to be behind the DM screen, which I like to call a shield. But
we had a Warhammer battle that covered the stage of a grade school auditorium. That sounds badass.
Yep. It's nice that the school gave you the room and the space to do that, too.
My school had that much leniency with my game group.
No,
there wasn't a lot. No passport.
I don't have a passport either. Oh, yeah, they don't do that anymore.
It's because of COVID. COVID ruined E3.
Well, COVID ruined a lot of things. Sorry to interrupt you.
But yeah, when I was in high school, I used to run a gaming club. But the problem with it was my senior year of high school, the school decided that the room that they were doing detentions was my club room. And they had detentions over my club room. So they booted us out and said, yeah, that's not a club anymore.
Well, you ended up being in the hall. which wasn't that bad because they had really good seating at your school.
Yeah, that was good for a few months until the next year, and then the next year it was like, well, I'm not technically a club, so we can't do this anymore.
And that wouldn't slow me down that much. I'd go get a passport if I had a means to get there. But yes, it can be a problem. At another convention, a squad of Terminators that had a teleporter fail ended up appearing in the middle of the fantasy battle being hosted by the same guy on another table. Yeah, we had a really cool event that we did one time where we like to do what we call monster matches, and I'd heard about other people doing it, where we'd have 5 game masters set up areas in an hour, and this is the way we and that'd be our second day of our tournament, and the players would all make characters for AD&D Second Edition. We'd give them a certain amount of experience points to buy levels and magic devices and all that. It was pretty cool.
I remember that.
Another convention, a squad of Terminators.
Oh, you already read that.
Oh, yeah, I did.
It's Kate.
It was Kate. Oh, I'm sorry.
I remember those.
I remember those. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. The second one that we did, though, I had other game masters running. I wanted to play. I wanted to experience it. Let's see. We had a Loop and Louie tournament at Game Storm once. It's nice to also throw in other games and let people do other things too. That is, I don't know what Loop and Louie is, but it sounds fun. Like I said, when I went to the second one we hosted, I wanted to be a player, and the problem with that was they had us make all these devices, and they kind of ruined the entire idea of the Monster Mash, because the first thing they did was have us fall through a Dispel Magic field that destroyed almost all of our magical devices. We had to make a resistance roll for every one, and it took like 2 hours just to determine whether we had magic devices or not. And I was like, okay, I guess I gotta be a game master in the next one. And it happens. Oh, you're looking to look up Loop and Louie? All right, I will. After the show, I'll look it up. Because it sounds interesting. I don't know what it is, but you misspelled it. That's okay. We have typos, and we use blame autocorrect. That's the way Sean does it.
Oh my gosh, that's what I blame. I need to learn how to type properly because I can't do this.
Even in spite of that, we had a lot of fun at that convention. But
it's a joke tournament.
It's a joke tournament. Oh, okay, it kind of sounds like it. Let's see. I think my favorite Carnage game we played was the first one. Magic items were super rare. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing in this new one that we're doing on. Kate's one of the players in the Ravagers of Carnage, so adult gamers getting into it. Yes.
Honestly, it's fun when adult gamers are really into it.
Over time, I found that sometimes the adult gamers can be less mature than the kids, the teenagers. It's weird, but that's been my experience, is that the adults will get more rowdy and crazy than the teenagers. The teenagers are trying to get into it, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's changed, but when I was younger, that's kind of how it was. But yeah, adult gamers getting into a game, that can be a lot of fun.
It can be. Unless it's Justin doing that one campaign.
Oh, he ruined my Robin Hood campaign. Let's not get into that.
That's not the campaign I'm thinking about.
Oh,
you're thinking about he was running.
Oh, well, he was a new game master. You gotta let people breathe, man, when they're running a game.
I don't know. He disintegrated my character's family heirloom and told me to get over it.
He had a lot to learn. But that's cool. We all do when we first start. Let's see. We also played Twilight Imperium for 8 hours straight. That's another one I haven't heard of. So, I played a lot of different games, but not a lot of majorly known games. I mean, I played a little bit of Vampire, didn't care for it. Too many dice rolls. I just was like, this is. And every time you turned around, you couldn't do anything. And somebody, we had horses. We were in a fantasy setting for whatever reason in Vampire. And somebody wanted to drink the blood of their horse, and we were vampires. And the game master said, you can't do that. We're like, why?
Why not?
It was weird.
I drink the blood of my horse. No, you can't.
Game of Thrones Risk is a good
it.
long affair. Took us 8 hours to get through. I love if you're talking about like Risk, the board game. I love that game. Yes,
Risk, the board game is fun.
Board game. Yes, I'm hoping that's what Sean's talking about.
Also, Twilight Imperium is a board game. He said.
Okay, so
I don't know, when it comes to really cool long board games, one of the ones that I like to play is Titan.
Titan, yeah, that was an Avalon Hill bookcase game, and a lot of people don't know about that one. But Vampire Dark Ages, yes, that's what we were playing, and it just I don't know, it seemed very restrictive, and the game master was trying to be controlling, and it was like we weren't having fun. It's the risk with Game of Thrones maps and houses. Oh, I didn't know they had one. That's kind of cool.
They have risk.
I'm not surprised. Like we have with Monopoly, they pretty much have everything Monopoly too.
I'm just mad that they don't have a Super Mario Monopoly with Bowser in it. Like there's Bowser in it, but he's not like one of the playable pieces. It's just like, let's do a Super Mario Monopoly. The characters are either everyone but Bowser or power-ups.
I'm trying to think of other games I played. I played a little bit of Robotech. I think we played that once with pre-generated characters, so I don't even remember how to make characters. Well, that led us to Battletech and Mech Warrior, and that was kind of fun. I did enjoy that. Twilight Imperium.
Every diplomacy phase ended up being role-played out. That is fun.
That sounds cool, because you can do a lot with board games. Warfleet from my border, yes.
I demand the removal of your obvious Warfleet from my border.
It is no longer a neutral zone, sir. That is a war zone.
If I find your men on my lands again, we shall go to war.
Warfleet, you would be, sir. It's simply a trade fleet protected from pirates. Yeah, those cannons, those are for self-defense.
Those are for self-defense.
That sounds like a fun game, though. I'll have to check that one out. Twilight Imperium.
Okay, I'd have to see how much it is.
All right. Not like we'll be able to get it. Maybe we can get like a PDF or something. But I'm sure it's not the same as an actual board game. It was a great game. We'll trust your recommendation, Elfate. We'll have to check it out. It's like $100. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm having a hard time just getting my copies of our own game books. I mean, I got two of them.
The list price is $109.99 for the base game.
Yep.
There's also an expansion for $127, and the third edition is $178.
Does it have a gist of the game, a synopsis, maybe?
Oh my gosh, it looks complex. There's replaceable fleet stands.
Complex is okay as long as it's fun and somebody knows the rules. It's a big coffin box game. Yeah, we've got a few of those like that. Yeah. You know, what was the name? Heroescapes. That was a good game. That was used miniatures, and there was these little hexagon tiles that you would snap together and create your scenario. And then they had little scenes, little modules, mini modules, basically. That's not what they were called, but they were little mini adventures. So basically the same thing.
It's currently $82.99. It's 25% off right now, and apparently there's an Amazon payment plan right now.
There usually is.
For $15.07 a month.
And that's the truth about a lot of stuff, Elfbait. If you got a good gaming group, they can make pretty much anything fun, so long as you know what you're doing and you're playing it. And even if you don't, sometimes you can have a good time playing. I had no idea what I was playing when I first started D&D. The first one I played, although I got the expert set myself, I actually did play out of the old red basic set. And I had the game master. I created a fighter that I named Thor, and I was 12 at the time. and I was in this dungeon. I don't even know where I was. It was probably Caves of Chaos because that's all he had was the basic set. And I was getting chased around by a gray ooze, which I now know probably couldn't chase me like that, but it was fun. I didn't know what it was. The way he described it, I knew it was some kind of blob. Yo, you take it easy, Elfbait. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, we're probably gonna end the live stream here pretty soon anyway. But you have a good night. But where was I? Lost my train of thought.
Later taters.
Later taters. Night, dude.
Cheers, Eli.
Yeah, Eli's a pretty cool guy. I'm gonna catch his live stream Sunday morning. He's got a really good one coming out that I want to check out. So yes, check out Elfbait Sunday morning. I can't remember exactly the time off the top of my head right now, but I've got my set notifications on. So, well, yeah, we're gonna call it quits. But I was talking about. Should finish up my thought there. What was?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I don't remember either.
I wasn't paying attention.
We was just talking. We was talking nostalgic. Oh, I was talking about the old when I first played.
Oh yeah, you were talking about how this great.
And then I went into an altar room, and I went up to an altar.
What the hell?
Oh, hey, we have somebody else in here. Welcome, welcome. We're gonna be taking off. Yeah, take it easy, Sean.
On the tube of you.
Anyway, my character with Thor was killed because his name was Thor. Good night, dude. Good night, all. We're gonna end the stream. You guys take it easy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with us getting a copyright strike. That was fun. All right. We'll see you guys later. Good night. We'll end the broadcast.